Okay, looks like we're going to try to retest the low on the 15-minute euro. We had a nice bounce off of this extreme kind of out of bounds price for about 10 pips below the low of yesterday. Kind of dip below to see if we can't take it all the way back to the starting gate, which if you're not willing to sell here, you can always trade off of this, start getting in at this, anything from, I'd say the bottom of this would be my thing, to start buying from here all the way down to here. So that's my plan tonight, or for the next leg. If we can get down here in about 12 hours or 8 hours, preferably. Actually, the faster it goes down, the faster I expect the bounce out of it. In this situation here, because this is a very hard, this is a classic auction trade where there's this support area, they rip into it by 20 pips, and then they rip it all the way up, and they blow out this top. That's the best trade in the world. And that was the news day. So this is Thursday, jobs report, classic entry, because they were auctioning the market that day, so you could count on that, stopping out the bears and the bulls. But since you're a limit entry guy, you're actually buying into this top. At least I'm a limit entry guy, just because it feels naughtier than stops. Like you're just buying as it goes up. But you have a stop on your thing, but you're getting, instead of getting in on the breakout of the 1 hour bar, you're actually getting in on the fact that it pokes, when it pokes 20 pips beyond or 30 pips beyond that, it's considered unfair value, in that it won't come back to fair value. And look at the zigzag at the fair value, which would be in between these and the bell market profile. It's going to be right here. So there's a lot of hemming and hawing in fair value, but there's definitely no doubt that when you get to here, it wants to come back to fair and then beyond. And then when it's out of bounds here, it wants to come back to fair, reassess inside of fair. So there's actually an unfair inside the fair. And this is certainly auction theory, which explains a lot of the what people consider to be stop hunts, only because they put a stop there, which was the low of the previous day. And the breakout traders that like to trade on the daily thought, well, that was the best place in the world to get in because it took out the low of the previous day. But they just keep on churning your account by, kind of rope-a-dope, and you just end up bleeding yourself to death from assuming that, we're in an uptrend, but the pullbacks have no time limits. Like this pullback here took 3 days. This one took 3 days. This had that beautiful climax even after this low, so that was special because it jumped. In other words, if you had a stop here, because you're long, so you put your stop, it was trailing stop as you tighten that up to protect yourself. This is your entry. This is the entry for some people. For other people, they rode it all the way to here, and they said, well, as it goes up, I'm going to trail my stop. And if they tightened it up really tight, they would have got stopped out in this last pullback, because that would be the first lower low. So that daily really is, wow. But look at this tick chart. This thing's on fire. So I definitely want to buy in pullbacks if I get a chance, and I haven't got, that's why I would buy lightly here, and I would still have a giant pack of orders 50 pips deep, because we could still keep on going. But if you I know Europe's going to open pretty quick here, so I'm hoping I get one more chance to load the wagon. Looking at the 15-minute chart, but I refuse to chase it. And I could sell the climax up into the this zone here, but I just think it would be short-lived bounce off the ceiling. Like if I was to sell the last known low, which is here, it's too late. It's already in the process of doing this cup and handle, whatever you want to call it. Like I just think we have to hunt down this price now, just before Europe opens, and then if it can ricochet off either this one or this one, wow, Katie, bar the door, because I'm buying from here all the way down. I'll start buying as they're chasing down all of the stops here that are piling up from everybody that's can't wait for this puppy to go to 116.50 me, and then my second projection. But this is going to take about 10 days, so don't get too excited. But, of course, this is what it looks like when this stuff happens. And, I mean, it's the subtle things about coming in and just dipping into this well of price. And then when we come near the end of the week, so we've got, if you project the end of the week, it comes out to be about here in price and time projection. This would be about here's the end of the week. So, if we're walking down this channel, I'm just building a scenario for the week on the 4-hour chart that conceivably we could come back to here. Maybe it's going to go up and down, zigzag to here. But this is a key level, even to put a pending now, because if we stab through that, say we punch through, come back, and since you've drawn these on close, the market has to settle down back there. So like this big wick here, that's like a great trade, great entry, because I'm sure people had stops here. So that was like an 8 pip window of entry. You could have had a 10 pip, you could have bought from here all the way to here with a 20 pip stop on that, but you have a 100 pip take profit. Because you can see this trend line was broke, and you can see this is the trend line that breaks, and the top, this on an angle, this resistance becomes support, and then you get what people call a stop hunt, but it's just people that put their stops in too tight, and they say, well, they came after me with an Uzi. But yeah, right there, even if you had your stop too tight, and of course you always have a backup plan to buy like crazy down here in case you get one of those like here where you got a bottom, everything looks good to go, so it's going up, but they whip it back into this see this top here. If you had a buy limit sitting here, you wouldn't have got filled, because I don't think they dipped it back deep enough. Yeah, they wouldn't have you wouldn't have got filled on that, so you were being a little too cheap. Sometimes, you can be a little too tight and just not get picked up on the trade, but that's okay too. I mean, I guess it doesn't matter so much, I mean, you don't really want to, that's at least cuts down on your over trading, because you're just too picky, too stuck up for the market. And then let the market come to you, because I think when Europe does open, and of course we got about 6 hours here, 8 hours before U.S. opens, and they start trading the bonds, and the bonds look like they're getting all bizarre, and if that's the flight to safety, and stock market's amazingly still making new highs, I'm definitely selling all into the stock market. I'm sure the stock market like crazy. But I'm willing to be short for 10 days into all-time highs, and just load in, just scale into that thing like a brick, like another brick on the wall. Because when that thing turns around, and then people run to the bond market and find the bond market is no place to be. Then they run the gold and find that's no place to be. So you're going to see a volatility circle. Of course, this is my own view of the future, is that you're going to see a ripple, the shock wave that the Swiss franc is causing in the numbers that just came out on the Swiss franc retail sales being minus crazy. And this is all attributed to, in my opinion, the fact that their currency is totally revalued and people are trying to get their brain around how to do business and how to price stuff. So a lot of people withdraw from the market. That's what happened here in the States. A lot of people with a lot of money just said, okay, I think I can take a hint. You're coming after me now. Bye-bye. So a lot of people just left the country, or they just put their money in the bank, or used to buy CDs before they were compact discs. You buy these CDs at the bank, right? You could just churn out 5%, roll that puppy over, and I think they used to give out irons and plates if you put money in the bank. So, yeah, the days have changed, So here we are, making money in a probably the easiest way, to make the hardest way to make an easy buck, I suppose. But yeah, I'm gonna have to wait for them to bid this down, and I'm looking for one more. I'm looking for a retest or a possible 20 pips slam past this, and on the 1 hour. I still have this in the rearview mirror here as being a possible a spike to that. But if that's the case, I'm going to get out at this bottom. And if I put, say, a 20 pip stop on that, I'm looking to make about 45, 50 pips with a 20 pip stop. But it's going to be I'm going to throw just kind of shotgun method here. So before I take off, I'm going to lay in kind of a light order bank. Now these are, every time I lay those in, I know they have a time decay. Problem is, when I first started doing this, I really lost a lot of money because I was so excited about the fact that I could automatically trade. I just really overloaded, and since I had no math skills back then, and I just would load it up. But my favorite order has to be the 15-minute, and it's this puppy, where it's like crazy. I mean, it throws in so many orders. And that's my stand in front of a freight train for 15-minute order bank, and played chicken with a freight train. But I want to put actually in more orders, and there's one I wrote that goes about 120 pips deep for 15 minutes, and it buys every 10 pips down. So every 10 pip handle, it's buying, and it actually would buy more the deeper it went. So by the time you got down here, you were buying like 8 times of what you would buy here size-wise. And I called it a compression order. And if you could afford that trade, it makes so much money, because by the time you get down here, you're buying like 20K on this ticket, but you got a master stop just about here on that whole thing. And if you let that play out, you can do good on that trade too. But I'm just waiting for the big sell-off.